If anybody's got some questions and want to start dropping them in here, that would be great. We'll make sure we start getting through them. Elliot, if you are on, can you yep. Help. Got it. I don't know where my camera is doing what it's currently doing. Do it live. All right. All right. Get my microphone handy and we'll go ahead and dive into you guys. So first and foremost, I want to say thank you for joining in. Ben Green, Resenta, yeah, great. Anybody who's interested in joining in with the conversation, hit the camera button. So let me go ahead and dive into a few things here. Yeah, Elliot, you should be good on your end. All right. So for those of you who aren't familiar, the 1612, what that has to do with, what that has to do with, what these guys have to do with is in 2014, my father passed away. He died the day before my birthday. I turned 31 and he passed away at 62. And at that moment, I kind of had this realization that I'm going to die. Like, right. That was the moment that it really clicked in that I'm not going to fucking make it. I'm not going to survive this. I'm not going to be here for all of it. Right. And so looking at my life that way, and if I'm halfway to where his lifespan was, that's 1,612 weeks. And so every week I had 1,612 marbles in that jar when I started, and now we have 1,176. And so every week and every Monday morning when I pluck a fucking marble out of that jar and I look at it and I look back at my week, right? Like, so here's how I start. Like, this is my week, right? This past week, here's what I did well. I journaled 5 days and got a lot of stuff sorted that way that I wanted to. I worked on chasing a really big, scary project with work that is just stretching what our limitations can be. We're far more capable now that we just did this other job that we finished. And so that's done too. So we wrapped up one big project. We're getting ready to start another big production project. And this is outside of the scope of things I do with 1612, outside of Hate Brand, outside of Habit Coffee. It's just other shit I'm trying to chase because it's fucking fun. And you can do whatever you want. I also managed 7 hours of riding on the bike this week. I got to spend time with Bonnie, one-on-one, us catching up and making sure we're together, getting ready to leave for a road trip together this coming Monday. And then got to spend a week reconnecting with a friend of mine, Brian, who was lucky enough to be in town. So like, those are all big things I did this week, right? Like big progress, big things toward the goals that I want to accomplish. And where I dropped the ball on, you know, I didn't do my best on this last drop we had with our jujitsu kits, which cycling kits and all these other things. Scheduled to drop, was ready to drop, and we just didn't have time to quite get the shots and promote it the right way with the rest of what we're doing in our schedule. And so we have to figure out a pivot to do that a better job. Like, that was a ball drop. We lost some ground there that I could have made, but we got a better plan going into relaunching it once we get pre-sales in. I also got spun up twice this week over nothing and really had to fucking get myself back together. But I'm getting better at noticing myself getting spun up over bullshit. And I'm noticing that I'm better at managing it and getting it pulled back together. I poorly managed my schedule a few times this week and overlapped a few things and had to miss out on some stuff. And that gets really frustrating because I make my own schedule. I fucked all that up. And it's really shitty to think. I hate canceling. I hate being late for stuff. And so treating someone else's time without the same respect that I feel about how mine gets treated really fucking bugs me. And that's something I can do better. And I fucked that up. So that's my week, right? Like, and no matter what that week is spent, if I spent that week doing a bunch of bullshit I don't care about, doing things I was obligated to do, making a bunch of other people happy, living my life according to someone else's idea, or I spent this week on the fucking gas chasing things that are my dreams, my life, what makes me better, what makes me a better human, what makes me better to the people around me. Because either way, I put the fucking marble in the trash can. I'm not a martyr. It's not special because I wanted to be better, nor is it special because I let someone fucking choose everything I did all week. Both are my choice. How I choose to spin this fucking marble is up to me. So that's what 1612 is about, is I want to spend as many of the weeks of the rest of my life doing the fucking things that matter to me and my dreams and my future as I possibly can. So that's the idea behind the 1612. In today's call, we're going to focus on eliminating your bullshit. So one of those things that we do with that, right, is we're going to do this journaling process, and we're going to have to be able to take awareness and look at our own shit. So for me, my 3 approaches to eliminating bullshit are going to be through movement, they're going to be through motivation, and they're going to be through mindset. So as we start talking about this type of things, I would love to have you guys jump in on phone calls. I'd like to be able to do some live one-on-one coaching with you guys from the Instagram live or from the Zoom, and see where you're at. So if anybody's got anything question-wise, wants to jump in and have me help with something that you're trying to eliminate out of your life, your bullshit, your motivation, or your mindset, let me know. And I want to call you in live right now and let's talk. Let's see what we can do to fucking help. See a bunch of people jumping in live. This is great. And so one of the big keys for eliminating bullshit is going to be mindset. Mindset being one of my favorite ones to work on because it's always on me. It's something I can control. And so the biggest key for that mindset of being forward driven and being able to make progress in your life is going to be total accountability and full responsibility for your life. I try to operate from a really, really hard line of full accountability in my life. And what that means is everything's on me. So my example that I work with this with people is if I was to let you borrow my car and you got into a wreck and damaged my vehicle, I'll fix it because I let you do that. I chose to give you the keys to my car. I took responsibility by saying, yeah, man, you're probably okay to drive. And whatever the reason is, accident, I don't believe anyone who would ever borrow my shit would operate out of malicious intent toward me, right? So I have to treat it that way, that it's an accident, it's forgivable. These are people I love. So that full accountability puts me right back. Jeremy Charles Johnson, your bullshit is that you think instead of doing. You want to jump in live, man? And I'll talk to you right on one-on-one. But it's having that full accountability for that side of the action, for that side of my response, for that side of the situation. And if anyone wants to join in live, hit that camera button right down there by the comment, and I'll go ahead and click in and get you in and be able to share with you. Here we go, Jeremy. The other side of that full accountability while Jeremy's clicking in and cameras are getting sorted out is if I was going to borrow your vehicle and I wreck it, I'm going to fix it because I took the responsibility. Either way, in that situation, it's on me. No matter what fucking happens, I chose at some point to allow this into my life, and therefore I'm responsible. Jeremy, what's going on, man? How are you? Not much. Good chatting with you, dude. Oh, right on. Yeah. I don't know when our next Sunday service is, but We're stoked to have him when we do. Hmm. Okay. And so for accomplishing goals, the system I use is like a 4-step approach, right? So we have inspiration, we have awareness, we're going to have intention, and then action. And as long as you're clear on the first 3, we can start putting in place action. So, I mean, what is it you want to do? Like, what actions aren't you taking? Sure. Okay. What what are you doing about it? Well, but like, so even that, right? Like, even that mentality right there, like, I don't get to it enough. Enough for what? Right. And so, yeah, of course, right? But why not look at it as what your week's worth of training looks like, right? Like, it's not realistic to think you're going to strength train jujitsu and do everything every day in the week, right? Like, so what are you trying to accomplish? Because if we're trying to accomplish being healthier, right? Like, that's where you started with this. You're not trying to become a professional athlete. You're not trying to become a competitive jujitsu athlete, right? You just want to feel better, move better, probably look better naked. Yeah. Um, I think as long as you get clear, man, that on your intention, that I'm going to do something today that's for me physically, whether that's jujitsu, whether that's weight training or anything, like, remove some of that expectation that comes with the negative side of letting yourself down of, I didn't get to it this week, or I didn't go to the gym like I said I was. I should have done 3 things, but instead look at that ability of what you did, right? You did go to jujitsu, you did strength train twice, you still have the time in the week to go take walks and move around and stay moving, right? Like, and as long as we can stay on that better than we were last week, let's keep building momentum. Are you familiar with the idea of gap and gain? Okay. So there's living in abundance is going to be the biggest thing mindset shift wise that we can accomplish 1612 to kind of keep us in positive frame that we want to keep pushing. And so the gap and the gain. The gap is where you're currently living. And that gap is from where you're currently doing based on the expectation of what you think you should be doing. And you're not matching those things. So there's some disappointment. You're letting yourself down. You're not doing what you said you would be doing, whatever that is. But in reality, what are you doing more that you would have been doing that you weren't doing 6 months ago? Where were you a year ago? Right? Like, let's look at the actual fucking progress that you're making and be stoked on that instead of any type of down regulating motivation from not doing this expectation. Because the expectation you have isn't built in any real fucking reality. It's built on this made believe perfect idea of the way the week goes. I think have an intention for that, but not meeting the expectation shouldn't be a negative. I have goals, and my goals are to train every day. I don't give a fuck what that means, right? Especially now, if my goals are to become best in the world at the Highland Games or powerlifting or any of that, other things got to go. But don't hold yourself to that line of training like a professional athlete. Like, if that's not the overall goal for what you're trying to do. I think fucking ditch the expectations altogether. The intention is that you're going to take 5 days this week, train in a way that's going to push you into an uncomfortable space and get better. Like, that's it. Like, that's all you're really doing on the other side of it too, right? Like, so even if you're chasing that expectation, you're not doing anything different action wise than that. You're still going to go to the gym and push yourself into a level of discomfort so that you make yourself better, right? So you can either take the exact same action that you're doing and be stoked on the intention that you're accomplishing, or you can be bummed about it and keep living in the gap of what you've not done. That's it. And that keeps us motivated. That keeps us driving forward, right? Like, look, man, I take a second and look back at where you were in your life 10 years ago, right? Like, how much could you go back and explain to that guy of what's happened and him be like, what? Right? So if that's true, and even if we go back 10 years prior to that, the expectations are crazy again. Like, what was that guy focused on? What were his stresses? What was his nervousness about? And you've made progress past all those things. So stop worrying about where this expectation of the next 10 years is going to go, because you don't have any fucking clue. Right? History has told us we don't have any fucking clue how this is going. So what if we just let go of that piece and all of our focus was on the intention of, I'm just trying to give myself as many options 10 years from now for whatever the fuck that guy wants to do, he can pursue. Yeah. Look, I don't know if in 10 years I want to run a giant apparel company or if I want to live in fucking Guatemala for fucking 6 months out of the year. So right now I'm going to kind of focus on being able to build both. And so for me, this deep into what I'm doing, right? Like, that requires now, I need to figure out how to run Hate Brand in a way that it needs me less, which means my management has to get better. My being able to idea translate to my team has to be better. And if I want that freedom of being able to fuck off and leave, I have to do that too. But I also know the key to me building that business into a giant thing is I have to make myself replaceable. I'm trying to just I don't know what 10 years me wants to do. I know that he would like to be in good shape. I know that he would like to have more money. And I know that he would like to have more freedom to do whatever the fuck he wants to with his time. That's what everyone wants, right? But like, it's 10 fucking years. It's going to take a huge amount of time to build that thing. I mean, in 2017, before I got fired from my last real job, like, I spent 10 years as an outside sales rep in an industry. I've been making apparel for 8 years. I've trained professionally more or less in my life since 2008. Right? So like, everything's going to take this incredible amount of time. So this expectation that I'm going to figure it out or get there quickly, like, fucking let it go, dude. You are on your timeline to figure out with the resources you have. And that is completely fucking different than anyone else's. Be stoked on your path. Good. Well, I mean, like, I don't have clear-cut goals for 10 years from now. I think they're fucking crazy to have. But I know what the big picture, like, bottom foundation pyramid things that I'd like that guy to have kind of in the works. And if that's true, then I need to start doing those things and keep building the skills that that guy needs. Right now, I'm pretty excited about this idea that we're getting to create content. And so I need to get better at management. I need to get better at fucking discipline. I need to get better at time. And I need to get better at translating my ideas to my team so that we can sell these concepts to companies or whoever we want to do this work for, right? I have fucking my education's atrocious. you know, I've managed to finish up at LSU, but like, I don't have any fucking idea what I'm doing, man. You know, that's the thing. But I've done all the parts of those jobs separately now. So like, fuck it. The answer is yeah, we'll figure it out. And man, that fear of failure that keeps people from trying, the biggest thing I've realized over the last 8 years, I've failed a lot. And you really have to fuck something up hard for it to be a real fuck up. Like almost intentionally burn it to the fucking ground. Right? So what? So difference in expectations, right? Those are like fuck anyone else's expectations of your life. Right? I look at those things as like rules, right? That you are living according to some rule that is a success or failure of what someone else put in place of like, well, I don't have this, and this in line, so I'm not successful. Figure out your fucking definition of success, and that's all that matters. Chase that. Because the overall pre-installed definition that we all come from with success or love or happiness, a lot of those are built on other people's bullshit and other people's rules and what helps fit into something. Like, I don't fucking care anymore. Well, and look, that's what people talk about with setting boundaries. You know, at some point I had to make the decision that these are the things I gave a fuck about and I'm going toward those, and I no longer need permission as a goddamn grown man. The other people in my life, parents, family, whatever it is, that have expectations or ideas of what my life should look like to make them feel better about it, I don't fucking care. And they don't get a vote. They can be happy for me chasing my thing because they love me, or they cannot be. I don't give a shit. I'm not changing the direction I'm going. People that genuinely love me and want to see me happy want to see me do the thing that makes me happy, not the thing that makes it easy for them to explain. Goddamn right. Goddamn right it has to be intrinsic. Like that's where the original hate brand came from, right? Like it's all built there. Like that whole thing was like I fucking hate those bullshit parts of me that hold me back. Like I'm realizing I'm the one dragging those fucking anchors. No one's hooked them on to me. Yep. Well, dude, I appreciate it. Let's see if we can have someone else hop in. Yeah, man. Anytime. You know that focused on being able to eliminate bullshit from your life is going to free up a lot of time you have to be able to chase the other things that you're really into. Mike Crownson, another guy coming in. See if we can get Mike to load in. I don't know how to. There we go. Mike, what's up, dude? Good, good. Let me. I'm trying to figure out how this works. Jeremy, I think you have to remove yourself. Doing great. What's up, brother? How can I help, man? How are you today? Hmm. Yeah, yeah, dude, I get it. Like, like, for one, you couldn't be any fucking further from alone in this. Like, and that's a big one right now that I think doesn't get as much honest conversation amongst entrepreneurs, amongst people fucking doing what we're doing, right? Like, there is a switch that got flipped in the online retail space about last October with the iOS update, and everything is fucking different. Everyone is in some form of survival mode. Everyone I know across the board is fighting somewhere from about 20% down to about 40% down. And so, welcome. Like, it's a fucking fight, right? Um, especially with anyone who is being able to use ad sales to really generate a big portion of growth. That shit's gone. And it's a bummer, but I mean, like, that's a real thing. And like, man, I know that you are a guy who owns your shit and you're focused on your expectations um of what growth and what business should look like and these numbers. But I also fucking hate trying to pretend this is an excuse because it's out of my hand. I fucking live on both sides of that fence all the time. And the reality is I just have to stay progress focused, because progress focus is going to be the big thing. That time of ad sales being what they were probably won't come back. Like, that is another closed door of the Wild West, which social media was for a long time, that is now fucking different. And so strategies change, we move forward, adapt. Continuing to try to do those old things is crazy. So, yeah, how do you pivot that, right? The other one, man, for you, how do you lower that expectation, like I was talking about with Jeremy, and focus on what is your intention that day? And as long as you're accomplishing that intention and look back at 6 months and what progress you've made as far as systems you've built, decisions you've been able to make, hard decisions you make when you're fucking panicked and tired and all those other things, and you still fucking show up, man. How could 5 years ago you handle juggling the plates that you're currently juggling? No fucking way, right? So, like, have that time to fucking thanks and be stoked on what you're able to fucking accomplish, man. I know that you've got other opportunities that have popped up outside of your business because of the work you've shown and the drive that you've shown within your own business, right? As an entrepreneur, I'm kind of under the idea of I need to remove any expectations as well as what it is I do for a living. Because clearly what I do is anything that comes across my fucking plate, that's an opportunity to get better. And so, I mean, at some point, am I not making t-shirts? At some point, am I not podcasting? Probably. I don't know when that's going to be, but I better be pretty fucking open to that opportunity if something else comes up. Right. And so that's when those things come up and those opportunities come up, it's quickly trying to figure out how do I flip systems in place to manage the best I can on this side without closing that door. I don't know if any of that kind of helps a little bit, but okay, then what point would you be stoked? Because it's also worth fucking admitting that there isn't a there that you'd be stoked about. Yep. So let me save you real fucking help. There's no there. Because if you want to call and talk to Rob or talk to Andy Frisella or any of these other people, because let me know, like, do you feel like a fucking warehouse full of supercars would make you feel there and this stress wouldn't be? Because guess what it is. This feeling you got, it ain't never fucking going away. That's the fire that you have to maintain to do this thing long term. Like, that is the job, maintaining that. It can be.
Because it takes over me some days to where it's like I snap at the littlest of things. And understanding stress, pressure, load, but at the same time just not letting it overtake me is completely mentally and just fucking everything else up in my life, making compounding interest of pressure.
Yeah, dude. Look, one of the big negative side effects that comes from ADHD is I love my ability to hyper focus. Like, that part of it that comes with it, like, same thing that got me through Highland Games, the same thing that got me any of that. Like, I can now do a better job of choosing that focus on things I'm interested in. And it works long term like a fucking lunatic. The other side of that too is if something spirals up on me and shit starts going negative, that hyper focus jumps to that. And I will quickly fucking bury it. Today I went through one, dude. I got up this morning. We're supposed to photo shoot this morning here at the gym. We need to get shit done since Bonnie and I are leaving town. It's a summer shoot. It's fucking gross and rainy outside. So that's a fucking big bag of shit. We went and did a morning workout with a friend of ours, downtown, be part of their group. And like, it rained on us the whole time, which is fucking fine. I don't give a shit. I've been wet before, but it's like that to here to little stuff. I had a fucking coffee get knocked over at the house that takes extra time to fucking clean up. And yeah, I chose all of it. No one asked me to go do any of these fucking things. No, I'm sorry. I don't have to do any of this shit. Therefore, the other side of that coin means I chose all of it. And if I chose it, it's up to me. It's up to me how I manage it. Right? Are you familiar with the 4 agreements? No? At least we have the awareness of it, right? Like we're there. Like, that's already such a huge step. And so, man, as an entrepreneur, like, there's just so many failures that are going to come. Bad decisions, failures. And one of those things I observed and I loved watching from growing up within BMX and skateboarding and stuff like that is watching guys try stuff and fail. And so at an early level, right? Like, you're going to try stuff, fail, and kind of get hurt when you crash, but people get better at crashing. They don't stop trying harder shit. They get better at crashing. And so what you do is you learn to fall and fail in a way that you get to try again without fucking riding it into the ground and needing to go to the hospital for 2 weeks. You get better at learning when to hit the eject button to try again, not hold on to whatever piece of ego it is that I'll ride this thing in. Like, fucking let that bullshit go. But I want the ego that wants to try again. I want the ego that says we can do it, the one that believes in me, not the one that's trying to prove a point. And you eventually see these guys, right? And like, that next step of awareness is you see them take dozens of run-ups before trying something. And it's because they're so good at feeling that failure coming. They feel it in the run-up, that they don't even have to get to the point that they need to eject before they say something's not right. And so that's that same awareness, right? Of when you start getting spiraled up with that frustration. As soon as you feel it start, acknowledge it. Fuck, we're doing that. Take over there. Quit letting it fucking do its thing. Stop, breathe, get focused back and realize that you're in fucking control and you chose to be here. You're not a victim. These people aren't out to get you. You're in it. And it's not fair to let any of that venom that you've created on your own spread to anyone else. It doesn't fix anything. It only now creates bigger problems that you'll somehow fucking apologize for later today. You know, it's easier for me now, especially with Bonnie or anyone else, because she'll absorb my energy way more than I do hers. So if I'm spun up, we're at a point now where it's like, hey, you just need to go. Like, I got to ride this one out. And so, like, man, I refuse to fucking let it get on anyone else. The other thing I know that comes with it, if I shut the fuck up, it'll eat itself. If I don't continually give it something to get more frustrated about, it'll go away. In fact, it always has. Every time you've ever got that spun up, you've been happy afterwards. At some point, right? Tomorrow, the next day, whatever it is. And so one of those big lessons that kind of came from psychedelics was what's coming is going. So trying to not acknowledge that frustration and pretend I'm not frustrated is far harder than just being able to say it up front and deal with it at step 1 instead of letting it get to step 5. Have you convinced yourself you don't have time for those things? Right. That's right. So, like with my morning routine, and like I know what a big difference my morning routine is for me, even if I shorten it or I get to do full fucking 2 hours that I love. The cold tub or any of those things, man, I can always find myself saying, like, I don't have time for it this morning. And at the end of it, the question I ask myself is this: does it make us better? Because if it doesn't, why would we ever fucking bother? But if it makes us better, we fucking do it. It's that simple. It's not up for debate anymore. This is something I'm 100% in control of. And even if it's not going to match my perfect expectations of what my morning routine should be, doesn't make it not valid. Dude, how many people do that shit where it's like, well, I don't have 90 minutes to go to the gym, I'm just not going to go. 45 minutes is still super fucking valid. Chances are you're not training to be a professional anything. Right. So my morning routine, to give you a look, is I come to the gym, I'm going to do an hour of some type of cardio while managing my other ADD bullshit in the morning. I try not to be on my phone too much, and I stay focused on like a documentary or watching some new information that I'm stoked on, not just falling into routine and habit, but finding something new and like, holy fuck, new podcast to listen to, some new idea to think about and noodle around. Once I'm done there, I move to the sauna and I journal. I write in my phone. I typically switch from that to either music without lyrics or I switch to an audiobook. And so I get 45 minutes or an hour doing that, journaling, thinking about a couple different things. And then I move to the cold tub, do breath work, and start my day. Perfect scenario, I got 2 hours. However, I don't mind getting on the treadmill and running hard for a minute. Like, fucking give it the gas. Give it the gas for a fucking full minute and then go dunk my head in the cold tub and do a full breath hold as long as I can in the cold. I still come out of that further ahead than doing nothing. I followed the intention was to get better today. I did the best with the tools I had today. So, just being able to stick with that intention side of it has helped me. Hey, you did those things. Let go of the made up part of where it's supposed to be. Dude, anything, man. Anytime. Always, dude. Anytime you ever need anything, Mike, Shout out, brother. All right. Anybody else want to go ahead and jump in? I'd love to chat with you guys. You know, back to that full accountability and that elimination of your bullshit. The awareness is a big chunk of it. Like, how aware are you of the things you're doing? Taking time to actually look into why I like that, why I want that. The Four Agreements is a really great book. I highly recommend for anyone to dive into, to start getting some idea of self-awareness. It's a really, really great start. The Four Agreements are: be impeccable with your word, don't take anything personally, don't make assumptions, and always try your best. And while those are really simple, there's a lot of depth to it. The be impeccable with your word, for me, that puts the responsibility back on me to make sure that people I speak to do not misunderstand my intention. Not the words I said, but my fucking intention. There's a difference there. And because we've become such a text-based culture, everyone reads things in the context that they want to hear them. They feel personally attacked. You read it in the voice you want. I did this for years working for a company, catching emails and stuff like that. When I was insecure and when I was nervous and wasn't feeling that I was doing my job, I was very attacked. I read emails in such a voice of like, va, 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 va. But I can also choose to read it in a different tone. And so being impeccable with my word has allowed me to better communicate. The better I communicate my intentions with the people around me, the better I can communicate what I want, what my desires are, what my needs are, how I'm going to fulfill them. The better that I can communicate it, the better everyone can be on point. If my employees or anything like that aren't hitting targets that we've talked about, then I need to go ahead and look at, where am I not explaining it in a way that they grasp it? Where is this on me? And if at some point we're just going different directions, fine. But where can I get better at being able to explain my thoughts so that they understand exactly what I'm hoping for? Because to pretend that we all speak with the same language and understand things isn't right. And to be able to not only communicate via text with people isn't going to lead to a lot of great understanding. If anybody's got any questions and wants to jump in, hit that camera button on the bottom next to comment, and I'll bring you in and we can chat. And I would love to do these live, kind of on the spot, one-on-one coaching with you to work on some mindset, motivation, or movement to help you eliminate whatever bullshit is in your life. So being impeccable with your word is such a huge part of it, to make sure that you're understood. Barbell CBD, what's up, dude? To make sure that you're understood, to make sure that the things you want to accomplish are understood and not arbitrary and kind of wandering around in the ether and uncertain to the people that you want to speak to. What's up, man? How are you? Very, very good. Long time. Well, fuck, man. We've been chatting for a long time now. Good to actually see you. Yeah. How can I help, man? Sure. Now, are you working to empty your bucket by having less stress, or are you trying to build a bigger bucket? Okay. So, I mean, both are good. I mean, and the one that we can control, right, is the mindset you have toward those stresses, especially the catastrophizing shit that, just spins up, like we talked about with Mike, that it just spins up. Like, take a real fucking minute, man, and be aware and think about what's the absolute worst case scenario that would have to happen to fuck everything up. Like, business fails, mortgage, you can't pay the mortgage, the fucking house is foreclosed on, everyone moves, you can't find any new work, and now you all live in a car, and then your car sets on fire. Like, how far do you want to go into that catastrophe? Okay. Yep. Sick. Sure. Well, and I mean, look, and I'm not trying to say the problems you have aren't real, but I'm saying address them as what they are. Don't make them into bigger monsters than they are. Focus at the task at hand. Keep the intention on what you want to get done. A lot of that is just living in fear. Fear that I can't get this done, that I won't accomplish whatever it is. Any of those things and expectations on yourself, right? And like that catastrophizing of it is only going to shift you more into panic and less out of making good decisions and continuing on with what you're doing. So, I mean, that's the, you know, even there, man, even the awareness of things that have happened in my past that have put me here, right? Like, that's already a big one. And so being able to also look at every single person and at the same way, that they're also dealing with all the shit from their past that you're not aware of. Right. And so it's also really easy to not give yourself credit when shit's stressful, because you don't feel like it's at the low level before you're panicking. You'd be like, those aren't real problems. People have real fucking problems. Like, that's not fair either. Like, trauma and pain and stress are not a fucking competition that we're playing of who can handle the most. Everyone is dealing with everyone who's trying to fucking do cool shit in their life is dealing with a max amount that they can deal with right now. That's how it is. I am fully in it and have been fully in it for the last 8 years. I don't plan on it ever going anywhere. So at some point, I've got to be the one to accept, since I'm in full control of my fucking life, then I chose this stress. And if I chose it, then I want it. What are we going to do about it? How do we keep making smart decisions? How do we keep doing the little things that are going to get us where we want to be going down the road, where we can be set up in the future for what we're hoping to get done? And look, man, and that's again what I told Mike. Like, anyone doing entrepreneur thing right now, like, yo, we're in a fucking fight. Like, don't think you're fucking alone. Netflix posted its only fucking down revenue quarter in history. Ever. Right? Like, everyone's fucking in a fight. People without businesses are trying to fucking figure it out. We're in the weirdest time in American history. I'm not acknowledging that as an excuse for why things are what they are, but it's an awareness that the rules are different than they were 6 months ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago. So I need to be the one making adjustments and figuring out how to adjust to this new climate, because someone's going to figure it out. And if someone can figure it out, that means it's fucking possible. Well, then it's possible. So why not me? Yeah, dude. Thank you so much. Yeah, you too, brother. Yo, I was really excited to jump in and kind of share what a group call looks like. With my 1612, my mentorship group. And these are some of the big things we've worked on, right? And like being fully accountable and being aware of what you want to get done and being able to manage your mindset and feelings about what you're trying to accomplish, to be able to stay in living in abundance so that you know that you're happy, you're driving forward, you're making progress, and you're happy with you. We are making progress. We are living in the gain instead of the gap between where we are now and where we want to be. That's a mindset shift that doesn't have to change any of the fucking things you got going on, unless you've been sitting around on your fucking ass doing nothing, waiting for excuses to start. And if you're waiting for excuses to start, happy to talk to you too. Yeah, who can I help? Anybody wants to join in live with me and get a quick 101 session, hit the camera button next to the comment, and I would love to chat with you. The second of the four agreements, take nothing personal. And this one's as deep as it can fucking go. But realize everyone you're dealing with, dude, I'd love that again, brother. Everyone you're dealing with is dealing with a max amount of their shit and all of the things from their past. So don't take it personal. Like that person in traffic that's mad about whatever it is, they don't fucking know your day. So don't give them any of your energy. I choose where my energy levels get spent all day. And if I start every day with this 100% of energy, that I get to choose where it all goes, and whether that is going to be spending it on someone else's life, giving negative energy to people that I see in traffic that I'll never actually cross paths with, or other bullshit, giving negative energy to the fucking news, like any of this, it's still energy that I'm choosing to give. Instead, I want to pour all that energy into the things and people I fucking love and waste none of that shit on those things that don't fucking matter to me. Those things that don't move the needle for me. Those things that don't bring me happiness. Those things that don't create abundance in my life. So being able to focus that and stop listening to that bullshit internal of everyone's out to fucking get me. No one is. The sooner you fucking let go of that, the better it's going to be. The sooner you let go of the fact that your parents or whatever they are, your parents are fucking stupid too. They're just dumb as you are. They didn't pass any fucking test to become an adult, or become a parent, or fucking teach people how to do anything. Your friends don't know either. And so when your friends shoot down an idea or something like that you want to take on, or your family's nervous or any of this, remember they're operating out of the fear that they've created in their fucking life and what their tolerance threshold is to chasing their dreams. That does not have to be yours. Stop being around fucking people that want to steal that energy from you, and take the fucking time to surround yourself with people who want greatness, people who want to see you succeed, people who want to show you and help you build a fucking life you're into. Every week is fucking tick tock. Another fucking marble down. 1,176 weeks. I think about how quickly at 31, the first 1,612 weeks of my life disappeared. Because I can think back on it really fast, like, boom, I'm here. That's it. That's all that's left. Man, I could blink through that too. Unless I'm at the fucking wheel, right? When does time slow down the most? For me, time slows down when I'm slightly uncomfortable and I'm kind of riding that edge. I don't want comfort. I don't want a comfortable life. I like comfortable moments. I like great moments. But what I want is to constantly challenge myself to solve problems, get better, and improve. I want to sharpen my skills, become more valuable. Through that process of following that for the last 8 years, I'm now doing large production work for companies like Indian Motorcycles. I have a book deal that I'm working on. I have this apparel brand that I've run for the last 8 years. I have a coffee company that I've had since 2017. I have all these things going on that have slowly built because I'm willing to try, because I'm willing to give it a go. I'm willing to figure out those problems. There's no guidebook to any of this, how to be an adult. There's no, you graduated college, you should have it figured out. You don't have it fucking figured out. Also, let that one go. No one does. No one has anything figured out. I sure as fuck don't. The only thing I know for certain, right, is like my overall life intention is I want to be a +1. I want to contribute. I want to make people around me better. And I want to fucking create. I want to add things, whether that's design work, whether that is community, whether that is Stoke. I don't give a fuck. I want to be in the addition column for anything I'm ever part of. That's my intention, is that I always make anything I am brought into better. Relationships, parties, whatever it is, I am never something that fucking took away. I am not a subtractive part of it. If anyone else wants to join in and click that thing, we got about another 5 minutes left, so I can take one more person and we can chat it out. Other than that, so we are hosting our Not Dead Yet men's retreat here in November. If anyone is interested in that, just go ahead and DM me. I'll share some information with you, but it's going to be a weekend treat. We have 9 spots open, and it's a men's retreat this time. Ladies, I'm sorry. But man, I want to dive into this. I want to dive into eliminating your bullshit. I'm interested in picking it in and digging in. Man, this weekend, if you've never done something like that, these weekends will fucking shift everything in you and create such a new generation of momentum toward where you want to go. It's fucking unbelievable. And no doubt starting to do these things in my life 5-7 years ago changed everything for me and have me here. They have me here to such point that I want to see other people do it. That I believe it's doable. It's not fucking magic. There's no magic to any of this shit. And so if that's something you're interested in, shoot me a DM. I'd love to chat with you more. And for the rest of you, 1612. The 1612, come join us, be part of our community. We have a call with me every week. There's also calls with 4 other of our member coaches. We go through journaling every week. We have time and community and resources of people for you to be around that want to see you fucking win. People that you don't have to sell on the stuff that you're dreaming about, nor the people that you need to hide any of your bullshit from. I want to help. This group wants to help. I want you living a life worth fucking dying for. Because that's coming anyway. Whether you live this whole fucking life according to your dreams and your wishes and pushing yourself to be the best fucking person that you can to add to this goddamn existence, or you sat on the couch with a thumb in your ass bitching about it, both of them end in the fucking ground. There's no difference. There's no difference to the end of the fucking story. I died, that's it. So what are you going to do in the meantime to make you happy? What are you going to do in the meantime to fill that bucket to push yourself? Thank you, Brian. I appreciate it, man. Having people in the group has been a game changer for me. Having people to deal with and have meetups with and build this community. I've always been part of other people's. Now that we have Dope and have a facility and have this place in St. Louis, it seems that we've been able to throw up this fucking lighthouse and be like, hey, we're over here. People that want to get better. We're fucking over here. I don't have anything else to tell you other than I'm interested in getting better and I would like to fucking help. I support your chasing that. That's why we opened Dope. Man, Dope is that acronym for Department of Human Division. Wow. Division of Performance Enhancement. I'm interested in anything that makes me better, from cold to microdosing mushrooms to psilocybin to breathwork to journaling to any of the woo-woo shit that allows me to focus more on what it is I want and where I want to go with my energy. And my energy goes and attracts what I choose for it to. If it's going to be put into bullshit, it is going to attract bullshit. And if it's going to be put into abundance, it will attract more fucking abundance and more opportunity. I'm telling you, you can manifest this fucking life you want. But it's a choice. You have to let go of a bunch of the bullshit that you're carrying with you for why you can't do some of the things you want to do. Because I'm here to tell you, you're the fucking reason. Can't find good employees, you're a fucking bad manager. Can't make enough money? Figure out how. There's money to be made. Can't connect with your spouse? Figure out how. It's your fault. How can you get better? How can you create the best version of you? Thank you, body. Dre, we talked before, man. You've talked about the group and you've talked about the weekends. How many times are you going to jump in on fucking calls before you actually make a decision to try something? You know, you're fucking $200 a month from trying to be part of a group. Like, that's your fucking threshold of uncomfortability that you're not willing to cross over to change your life. Question how much you give a shit. Because if you don't give a shit, I don't fucking care. I don't. If you're happily blissful, coasting through fucking whatever this existence is, I want you to do that. You don't have to fucking give a shit, but you don't get to bitch. You don't get both. You either build the fucking life you dream about or get the one that's handed. Be happy with either. For me, I don't want anyone else getting a vote with what I do with my life and my time. So it's on me. And I love that. I love the responsibility. I love the accountability that I'll fucking build it. I have the ability to show up every day and bust my fucking ass. And you have to be patient for it. Like, that's one of the greatest things that come from the strength training side of stuff. It takes 10 fucking years to get good at anything. Like, you're not going to get your squat strong quickly. It takes 10 years to get your squat strong. It takes, I was a thrower in middle school. So from probably 12 years old till I was 28 and won my first world championship, like, I don't feel like there was an expression of that talent for that many years. Like, that whole amount of time allowed me to continually work and figure out through that process of becoming a thrower that the Olympics weren't for me. And if I hold that as the only standard for being a good thrower, then I will be a fucking failure. But if I'm willing to continually get better and try new things and push myself to find what is my limit, I found it. So whether that made me a world champion or it made me a fucking scrub, I'm okay with being able to honestly say I did everything I could to make that my best. And now that it's over, that chapter is closed. Can't do it anymore. It's taken from me. Injury, any of those things, and again, taken from me. You know, being best in the world is not fucking healthy. There's repercussions. These were mine. So how do I go forward with my life and pursue things that something else that gives me just as much fire, if not more? How do I pursue the rest of my life to make winning the Highland Games and whatever the fuck that is, that world championship time? How do I make that a fucking cliff note in my story? That is not the best thing I will ever do and will not be on my fucking tombstone. That's one of my intentions. I will get better. So thank you guys. We'll go ahead and wrap up. Anyone, please, interested in our intensive weekends, I would love to work with you. Go ahead and shoot me a direct message and I will shoot you over a link for any of the information about that weekend. It's going to be really good. We'll have you here in St. Louis. We'll have a house taken care of. I have meals taken care of. It's all inclusive once you're here. We'll have hot and cold therapy. We're going to dive into some intensive breath work. And there's going to be a lot of workshopping on eliminating your bullshit and kind of digging into what your own roadblocks are. So I'd love to get a chance to work with you in person. That weekend's going to be November 11th weekend here in St. Louis. So there's some time to sign up for it, X, Y, and Z. It will be up on the 1612 website very, very shortly for you guys to purchase. I think we have 9 open slots. 1612 is open for enrollment and membership. Be part of the group. Like if you're waiting for that fucking invitation and permission to try something new and be around new people and you keep talking about like, I don't know where to find people that feel this way. Yo, they're right fucking here. There's the invitation. So thank you guys. I'm going to sign out. Thank you guys for chatting. I love you all. I appreciate you sharing your morning with me and taking in as much of this. I will talk to you soon and look forward to chatting with any of you in the DMs.